In fact, to drive that message further home, Army Chief General Upendra Trivedi is going to hold a security review meeting tomorrow, and he is going to visit the site of terrorist attack in Baisaran. This will be second such visit by a prominent person. Remember, Amit Shah had gone to Baisaran as well. That helicopter ride, that the visuals we got you earlier, and taken stock of situation. Pradeep, tell us how significant it is for the army chief to decide to go visit the site of a terror attack.
See, this visit is really going to be very important, because while Amit Shah was there, he was able to generate confidence among people that was shattered by these killer bullets fired by Pakistani terrorists. Because within 24 hours, Amit Shah was there on ground, reviewing situation, interacting with the people, and also interacting with the family. We were trying to find out what really had happened. But now Army Chief going over to that place, because one is that he's going to review situation, he's going to interact with the commander, 15 Corps commander also, he's going to interact with the 16 Corps commander also. That means he's going to review the situation along the line of control, also situation within the borders also, how is the situation there on the ground, and we'll also be trying to check out the preparation that's going on. See, because you have to fight a war on two fronts. One is that you're fighting a war with the proxies who are trying to create mayhem in Jammu and Kashmir. For the last several years, we have seen that how they had been spilling blood of innocent Kashmiris, as well as trying to target the people coming over to Kashmir Valley. And the second is that they are trying to fight war across the border, because we have seen that there has been a paradigm shift in the military strategy since 2016. For the first time in 2016, we saw that Indians crossed line of control. A message was sent loud and clear to Pakistan that if you will not see line of control as something that need not be crossed, we can also violate that. And that's what India did. If it is not sacrosanct to you, we can also violate and we can also cross. And Indian troops were able to cross it. They were able to target many of their terror training camps. And we saw during Balakot also, Indian Air Force was able to penetrate deep inside Pakistani territory, 65 kilometers, and they were finally able to decimate and demolish Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters in Balakot. So this is what actually the army chief will be doing. He'll be looking out at the situation, he will review the situation on the ground, interact with the officials, and also trying to boost the morale of the soldier and so say that we have to be prepared for something big, because when we talk about kinetics means a surprise element. Obviously, there is going to be a surprise element. It cannot happen tomorrow, it cannot happen day after tomorrow, it can happen anytime. And that's one of the reasons that Pakistan is completely rattled. They know here is a man called Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What he says he is doing, that he said that he is going to teach them, listen, ghar mein ghus ke marunga, he did that. So this time also when Prime Minister say, I am going to identify each and every terrorist, the way they try to identify people and on the basis of the faith, they try to target them. He said it is not basically an attack on India. It was an attack on Indian faith. It was an attack on Indian belief. So finally, they are going to ensure that all of them are decimated. So that was the message that he was trying to give. And you know what? While he was addressing today in Bihar, it was not only that he was addressing the domestic audience, that address was also meant for the international audience. Right now, the Rishabh had been reporting about how several envoys are right now meeting. They are at the Ministry of External Affairs office. So basically, it is like naming and shaming, and also telling the world community that, see, we have gotten evidence. Pakistan cannot deny that we are not involved in terror-related activity. We have gotten evidence, and on the basis of the evidence, we have decided to take punitive action, because already some action has been initiated. Punitive action, as you rightly said, because Indus Water Treaty, it survived 1971 war, it survived 26/11 attack, it survived even Kargil war. During all these three occasions, this was discussed, but never ever they decided to suspend.
And
but this time they have decided
nothing at all is off the table right now. Is the message. The government is working on multiple fronts. We know that in about an hour or so from now is that all-party meeting that is going to take place. We know that all the foreign envoys have been summoned, and the latest development that we're getting right now is that the briefing that was being held between President, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who had gone to meet with the President of India to brief her on the status of where things stand when it comes to the Pahalgam terror attack and how India is going to plan a blueprint to tackle the aftermath of that. That meeting has gotten over. Rishabh, what can you tell us about what happened inside?
Well, what we're given to understand that about a 30-minute briefing has been given to the President of India by External Affairs Minister Dr. Ajay Shankar and Home Affairs Minister Amit Shah. Both the ministers have just moved out from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and the briefing was majorly around the Pahalgam terror attack and the subsequent actions that have been taken by India. Remember, yesterday in a 5-point punitive action, the External Affairs Ministry announced the outcomes of the CCS, the Cabinet Committee on Security, that held at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg, where the Indus water treaty has been put in abeyance. The visas have been suspended, and Pakistani nationals have been asked to leave. The defense attaches have been declared persona non grata, and now today the new update has come in that how every Pakistani who is in India will have to leave India by 27th of April. Those on medical visa will have to leave on 29th of April, which means that every Pakistani national will have to leave from India, and Indians who are in Pakistan have been advised to return as soon as possible. The countermeasures have also come in from Pakistan. So all this have been discussed at the meeting, have been briefed to the President of India, the First Lady of the country.
Okay, so now that the External Affairs Minister, who was at a briefing with the President, that meeting is over, can we now expect him to head to where the foreign envoys have been called? Is that where he's headed to next?
Well, that briefing has also been over, Priya. That what we are given to understand that it wasn't the External Affairs Minister who was briefing them. It was the concerned secretary, Secretary Pai, the Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran desk, JS Pai, as well as senior officials from the Gulf Division, from the Oceanian Division, from the European Division. All these secretary level, the diplomats from India, for that matter, were briefing the foreign diplomats, and the meeting has just gotten over. You can see many cars now moving in. This meeting, what we're given to understand, has lasted for almost 1 hour.
All right, a 1-hour meeting here and a 13-minute briefing there at the President's house taking place. Rishabh, we do know about the diplomatic strike that India has taken as step 1 of retaliatory measures. A lot is being said about the Indus Waters Treaty being put on hold, in suspension by India, and now Pakistan has come out to say that any attempt to usurp waters is going to be considered an act of war. Help our viewers understand what really does that mean.
Well, this is more of a bluff coming in from Pakistan. They have been trying to corner India on many issues in last few months, and India has been time and again giving them dossiers, giving them proof after proof of the smell of terrorism reeking out of their state funding, and that is something that terrorism is something that has been used by Pakistan as a rogue statecraft to internationalize Kashmir issue, B, to ensure that peace, development, infrastructure does not sustain in Kashmir, and C, the avenues that the Kashmiris are getting in India should be disrupted. What has happened with this Pahalgam attack is quite clear. The season that has just begun, the tourism season that has just begun, has been hampered. The unemployment will increase. That will lead to distress in Kashmiri youths as well, and that is something that Pakistan has been trying for long. Now they can keep talking about how they are going back on Shimla agreement, putting Shimla agreement and other bilateral ties between India and Pakistan in abeyance, which also gives India a very clear certificate that if you go back on Shimla agreement, which means that you are giving us a token to cross LOC and reclaim what is officially and factually ours. The POK is the actual thing that needs to be discussed between India and Pakistan. Terrorism is the actual thing that needs to be discussed between India and Pakistan. That's what India's stand is now.
Right, and for all those people who have been saying that the steps that have been announced by India so far might not be significant enough, you can see the reaction coming from Pakistan and get a sense of how it has been spooked. Pradeep Datta, completely rattled. Give us the highlights of what happened in the recently concluded national security meeting that was called by Pakistani Prime Minister himself. How Pakistan is also now trying to somehow scramble together a response to what India has done.
Yes, you are absolutely right, because Pakistan is completely rattled because they are fearing that there can be a repeat of either 2016 or 2019, what really happened at that point of time. Either India can go for launching an attack on the other side, targeting their terror training camps or even launch pads, or they can go for any kind of aerial surgical strike. So that's one of the reasons that Pakistan is completely rattled. What we have been told by sources that they have already heightened the security along the line of control, though there has not been mobilization of troops, but what we have been told is that leave of the officers have already been cancelled. And the second thing is that something that really normally happens during the wartime. And the second thing is that they have already mobilized their air assets. We have seen that what we have been told by the sources that many of their aircraft have started moving from Southern Air Command, that is in Karachi. They have come closer to the line of control, that is moved towards either Lahore or towards the Rawalpindi. So what they have done. Then they have also declared a no-fly zone so far as Arabian Sea is concerned, and that any time they can open fire, because they are saying that they are also going to launch one of the missile. They are going for the missile test also in within few hours. So that means that Pakistan is completely rattled. They are taking certain measures. They know that when Prime Minister Narendra Modi says something, that definitely he's going to do that, because people know that he's a man of words, because he is someone who has already sent a message loud and clear to them last time also, Ghar mein ghus ke marenge, and that was exactly done when the Air Force aircraft were able to enter deep inside Pakistani territory and were able to decimate Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters. And this time also they are completely rattled. So there has been a mobilization of air assets. There has been a heightened security along line of control. No-fly zone has already been declared at the Arabian Sea. So they know that anything can happen. So they are trying to keep their resources intact. But then they know that there will be a surprise elements, because last time they were found napping. They had no idea by the time India was able to even carry out attack, demolish Jaish headquarters and come back without Pakistan getting to know about what really happened. They were caught napping at that point of time. So
and
they
as we
want
speak,
that
Pradeep,
this
there
time
are several tit-for-tat measures that are also being announced by Pakistan. We decided to close the Atari border. They have said they're going to close Wagah border. India has meanwhile asked all the Indians to come back from Pakistan as well. Every time Pakistan speaks of war, we know it is bluff and bluster, because the very countries that it banks on for support, for arms and ammunition, for logistics, for money, are those countries whose foreign envoys have just met Indian Foreign Affairs Ministry and shown their solidarity with India. But stay on with me, Pradeep.